Shark Tank investor Kevin O'Leary was paid by the FTX crypto exchange to be a spokesman, but he tells CNBC that he ended up with, nothing when it collapsed.
Total deal was just under $15 million, all in. I put about $9.7 million into crypto. I think that's what I've lost. It's all at zero. I don't know because my account got scraped. All the data, all the coins, everything. And then I lost the money I invested in the equity as well. Those are zeros too. It was not a good investment, okay? I don't make great investments all the time. Luckily, I make more good ones than bad ones, but that was a bad one.
And hopefully people out there didn't get caught up in the FTX crypto exchange. But it does beg the question, what happens to people's assets if the company that holds their bank, brokerage, 401k, or perhaps even their crypto accounts, what happens if they go under?
Yeah, I mean, it really just points out again that there's just bad people out there that are willing to rip you off. And you've got to be really careful about who holds your money and, do the homework. A lot of times what you want to make sure is that you're putting your money on deposit with reputable companies that you've done the research on and know what the protection is that you have in place, and avoid some of these scams or what might turn out in this situation just an outright fraud. So first of all, bank accounts. When a bank goes under and no other bank takes over its deposits, the FDIC covers up to $250,000 in checking and savings accounts, money market deposits, and other CDs. FDIC insurance doesn't cover the investment accounts that many banks offer through their brokerage units, and some customers can get the $250,000 coverage for each account that they have in the bank, provided that the accounts are titled differently. Number two is brokerage account. If your brokerage fails, customer assets should be safe. It's the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission that prohibits broker-dealers from using customer money or commingling it with the firm's assets. The Securities Investment Protection Corporation covers up to $500,000 per account, including up to $250,000 in cash. And if you have a brokerage account in your name, a traditional individual retirement account, maybe a Roth IRA account, and a joint account at the same brokerage firm, each might be eligible for the $500,000 of protection according to SIPC. A 401k, if your company fails with a 401k plan and that company files bankruptcy, the plan assets are protected, and the protection falls under the Federal Employees Retirement Income Security Act. The 1974 law that governs 401k plans requires that the assets be held in a trust, and that trust also protects employees' money if your 401k plan administrator goes bust. And now the last example here, this cryptocurrency account, if the company that holds your cryptocurrency fails, there can be no guarantee that your money won't go to pay the firm's creditors. One way to safeguard your cryptocurrency account against an FTX-style failure is to hold it in your own wallet. Also, use a wallet that's stored on a computer or a mobile phone. It's another way that it can be hacked. So and want to know about what the safety measures are. I mean, we've seen companies here in Northwest Ohio that have turned out to be fraud companies. So again, what you want to do is you want to make sure that if you're ever writing out a check, you're writing out a check to the bank name. You're writing out a check to a well-named custodian, somebody that's the holder of the money. You're not making it out to an individual or somebody that else is a small name company that you're not familiar with. And just do your research to learn about what the protection is, because we don't want to see you end up in a situation where you have these type of things happen and some of the scams that are out there and catch people off guard. I think the bigger thing that happens for investors when things go under is ultimately investing in maybe a stock company that files bankruptcy. So there's been, a lot of different companies that people have invested into their stock, and what happens is that company has financial challenges, and when that company files bankruptcy, a stockholder may be lower on the list and ultimately may be wiped out with what their investment is. So again, we're looking at today's economic times, and we're talking about, are we in a recession or are we headed towards a deep recession? Will the market turn continue? I think the thing is not only knowing who the custodian of your company is, because when downturns happen, when those type of scams get washed out, but it's also in that type of environment where unhealthy financially companies go bankrupt too, and that's an area where investors can lose their money. So this is a time that you not only want to know where your money's held at, you want to know what you own, and I recommend that you take a look at owning companies that are financially sound, have good, strong, healthy positions. And if you don't know, we'd be happy to kind of walk you through it. And it, is probably well worth somebody else just putting a second set of eyes and saying, Nolan, is this a good company to hold my money? And we'll help you out.
And again, it all starts with that conversation with the team at America's Retirement Headquarters, whether it is coming into the office, speaking with them on the phone. The number's 419-794-3030. Attending one of their upcoming events like the Economic Summit happening at the end of February. It's easy to start that conversation, see where you are and where you need to go, what changes need to be made, if anything. You can go online to americasretirementheadquarters.com, click on the events tab to find more information about those events. Or as I said earlier, if you want to just go ahead and schedule a time to speak with the team, ask questions addressing what we've talked about today on the show, or just particular questions for your retirement. The number's 419-794-3030. Want to thank you so much for joining us today, spending part of your day with us here on America's Retirement Headquarters, home of the Retirement Guys and America's Medicare Associates. Please have a great week ahead of you. Let's make this a great year. Have a great year ahead of you. And Nolan, as we wrap up, want to leave you with the final word.
Yeah, great quote for this week. It's what the new year brings to you will depend a great deal on what you bring to the new year. So have a great new year, folks. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you soon here on Toledo's largest talk station, home of America's Retirement Headquarters, here with the Retirement Guys Formula and America's Medicare Associates.